Welcome, everybody, to today's stream. We are very excited to be here, very excited to get started. The big news today, we're going to be going over some news stories this morning. During this morning's stream, the news that I want to start off with is the Xbox xCloud beta does arrive on iOS and PC this week. If you've got an iOS phone, if you're an Apple user, you finally get access to Microsoft's xCloud. Super excited. Chief Wiggum's here in the house, Reactor League. Gary, John, Jake, and Andrew Kulanane is here. Welcome, guys. Thank you very much for being here. This is, we're going to be doing this stream every single morning. We're going to be going over news stories, talking, hanging out together. There he is, Matt Dan, my main man. Psychotic is in the house as well. Let's go over this news story. Let's jump right into it real quick. Microsoft's xCloud beta, this is from The Verge, arrives on iOS and PC this week. It is an invite-only beta for the xCloud via the web, but Microsoft's Xbox Cloud Gaming will officially arrive on iOS and PC today. This article was written last night, April 20th. It is the 20th, everybody. The service will arrive on devices via browsers, allowing Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers to play Xbox games on iPhones, iPads, and PCs. Microsoft is keeping this beta rather limited, though, and requiring players to be invited to participate in the testing phase. Now, you can access it at xbox.com/play. Let's actually go over there and check that out. It's interesting that it's in beta. If you guys remember, the reason that it's happening via the web is because of the iOS store. They're not Xbox because it's viewed as a marketplace, right? So iOS doesn't allow other marketplaces. Like, for instance, I have an iOS, you have an iPhone. You can't purchase Kindle books on your Kindle app, whereas you can on Google. So it's just interesting. It's like how the dynamics work with iOS. So here it is. This is the beta, or as they say across the pond, the beta. So here it is. This is the page for the beta of the xCloud on iOS. Play over 100 games. Thank you for participating and helping us out in cloud gaming. Receive an email. Okay, compatible device. Apple's mobile device with iOS 14 Plus. So you've got to have everything updated software-wise. I mean, I guess all the iPhones do. High speed and well, I guess I can't sign in. I don't want to sign in. It'll give them my password and stuff right here. My boy Will is in the house. Cooper, guys, what do you think about this coming to iOS and PC? It's coming to the cloud. Now, this is something that Google Stadia had over the cloud as well, because over xCloud, because you could play on Google Chrome, right? That was one of the big features that was touted, and now we're getting it web ability. Now we're getting web ability. Here for the xCloud, so that's good. Let's continue on. The limited beta is our time to test and learn. Oh, I don't want to highlight that. We'll send out more invites on a continuous basis to players in all 22 supported countries, evaluate feedback, continue to improve the experience, and add support for more devices. This is Catherine Gluckstein, Microsoft's head of xCloud. Our plan is to iterate quickly and open up to all Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members in the coming months so people have more opportunity to play Xbox in all new ways. Interesting. It is the first time it's been available on iOS devices after the service launched exclusively on Android phones and tablets last year. Microsoft wasn't able to offer xCloud on iPhones or iPads during the initial launch phase of the service back in September due to Apple's restriction on cloud gaming apps. That was a huge deal. What happened with the Epic lawsuit? Epic sued them as well over something like this, right? Shine says, I keep hoping I'll get an email for this. Dude, yeah, who all in chat? Did you guys sign up for it? Anybody sign up for the beta? Guys, we've got 30 viewers. Welcome, everybody, to today's stream. The morning stream is back. Thank you for being here. Red Nonis is here. Reactor League, of course. Gary John is here. My boy Will, my man Jank the Tank. Welcome, guys. Thank you very much. Zulabus says, with it being web-based, that means that the functionality between Android, iOS, and PC should be closer aligned. It's going to be really interesting. And then how smooth are they able to get it here on cloud? Is it a smooth experience? Is it a good experience? Or do you legitimately have to have 10 gig internet to do it? I would imagine it's pretty smooth. So what I've played from it, even on the phone, granted on the Android, it's via apps. I don't know how much of a difference. I'm not a developer. I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but That could make a difference. Chief Wiggum's here. Hello, sir. Oz is here in the house. So is Matt Dan. Did someone say morning streams? Someone did. Someone did. Guys, we're going to be doing news stories. We're just going to be hanging out, talking news here each and every single day, Monday through Thursday anyways. We do have 28 people here watching and 4 likes. If you like what we're doing here, hit the like button. Come join us. Huge news, though, this week. xCloud coming to iOS and PC. Very, very exciting. Very excited for it. Psychotic says, I play on 5G and it's smooth enough to play, but Wi-Fi is best. I can see that. Unless you're in my situation. I'm one of those people that has terrible Wi-Fi. I don't know why. I think because my Wi-Fi router is in my basement and there's... it's so slow. I switch over from my phone all the time to 4G instead of, you know, to cell service instead of being on Wi-Fi. I do the opposite of what everyone does in my house. Onyx says, I signed up long ago and said I had iPhone. Very nice. So do you have the beta? Is anybody in the beta? Anybody has confirmation that they're in the beta yet? Soderbergh says, I'm just enjoying MLB right now. Oh, baby. How is it? MLB The Show is here, everybody, for the first time on Xbox. I cannot wait to jump in and play it. We do have a season going on. Well, we're going to have seasons going on, put on by Reactor Leak is running that. Contact Reactor Leak. Over on Discord, we actually have a whole channel set aside for it called MLB. Wi-Fi can be very cranky, says Matt Dan. Dude, my Wi-Fi is the worst. The worst. Onyx does not yet have the beta. He's not yet been given access. Guys, we've got 12 likes and 27 views. Let's get to the singularity. The singularity that is 27 likes and 27 views. Already 28 people have signed up to it. Oh my goodness. Everybody wants in. The MLB The Show. The boy Will says, I'm downloading MLB The Show right now. I think that's one of the biggest stories of the week is that this game, this baseball game that we've been clamoring for on Xbox. I mean, and good for PlayStation, good for Sony Studios for owning that franchise, that title. They've really been able to capitalize it over the past years, and I'm just grateful to have it finally. I grew up playing baseball games. It's one of my favorite sports games to play on the Xbox. I think it's the best sports game to play seasons in. It destroys Madden, it destroys FIFA that way. And I think because baseball is so statistical, it's so statisticals. It's so statistically relevant. Like the way that baseball works is it's just all about statistics. So that's super fun. Cooper says, I linked it to my show account and got some gold legacy items for my history from PS4. Ooh, Cooper, that's cool that they let you do that. Very cool. Psychotic says, I really enjoy xCloud. It's allowed me to keep in touch with Rogue Company and Minecraft. Very nice. So even for Rogue Company, so it's quick enough for a competitive tactical third-person shooter that is Rogue Company, says Psychotic. Very nice. I like it. I like it. Stoked for the show. Downloading it right now, says Jank the Tank. Oof. Oh, very nice. All right, let's jump over. We have, so that's Microsoft's xCloud beta. The beta, the beta, as it were, arrives on iOS and PC this week. Let's jump over to the next rumor that we have. This is a rumor, that's right, that Xbox Game Studios, this is coming from PureXbox.com, is working on 4 new IPs. I like it. Talk dirty to me. Including a spin-off of an existing IP. Very interesting. Another day, another Xbox rumor. This one seems to be on the more plausible side. However, if you remember last week, one of the rumors was Square Enix being acquired by Xbox. How huge would that be? Square Enix came out and denied it. I think it's probably not true, but I like to fantasize about it. Fantasies exist for a reason, and Square Enix on Xbox is my fantasy. I mean, Square Enix is on Xbox, but I mean exclusively on Xbox. And what a fantasy that is. A dirty. Another day, another Xbox rumor. This one seems to be one on the more plausible side, however, which signals that there are currently 4 IPs in the works at Xbox Game Studios Publishing, one of which is based on an existing IP. I wonder what the existing IP would be. What do you guys think an existing IP? So 4 new IPs, one is an existing IP. Or there are currently 4 IPs. Are they counting Halo? They're not counting Halo. No, this is like being developed. I don't think that's going to count. I don't know, though. California King, though. Keep those new IPs coming. Amen, brother. During a recent Game On Daily podcast, Windows Central Gaming's Miles Dompierre spilled the beans on some potential things currently being worked on at Xbox. Dompierre allegedly has word on 4 AAA party partnerships, none of which are related to the the Kojima rumors. He says, quote, 3 of these are new IPs. 1 is a spinoff of an existing IP. I will say one of them is not something I ever would have imagined by this team and this genre ever. So one of them I was really shocked by in terms of what it is, what the scope of it is, and who's making it. This is definitely has our interest piqued and curious for what it would be. Jez Corden, also part of Windows Central, also recently teased that a AAA game coming to Xbox with a, quote, ambitious open connected world. Many thought it was related to the Ubisoft or Sega, as Corden teased a typhoon symbol on Twitter, but it's said to not be either of those. Dompierre added in the podcast that this hint is the game that is, quote, probably the furthest along and probably the first we will see. Halo? Are they talking about Halo? I don't know what they're talking about there. I mean, I guess I'm just super confused. I guess that's the reason it's a rumor and that it's news. As we gear up for E3, we can expect more and more of these rumors to surface. Whether we'll get answers during Xbox Showcase remains to be seen, but we're sure we'll get some questions answered. Very interesting. Very interesting. KO Connects is here in the house. What's up, KO Connects? So what do you guys think? What do you guys think is the big AAA party in an open, ambitious, connected world? And that's the one that's probably the furthest along. An open, ambitious, connected world. Zelda. No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. See, they could be talking about Halo Infinite. Also, like, I'm most surprised about this AAA title, that it's coming from, you know, the team that they're doing. I mean, 343, we know it's super ambitious, although I don't think that they would be talking about that. I don't know. I don't know at all. Shine says, I'd love to see them try to revive Shadowrun. I think it was way ahead of its time. I actually never played Shadowrun. Shine says, as far as Square is, it's too much of a Japanese company to likely sell to Microsoft, but I'd love it, dude. It would be huge. That would be absolutely earth-shattering news. I think it's going to be a new IP, right? So they said in this article, 1 of them is an existing IP, and then 3 new IPs. And then, so a total of 4 IPs being worked on right now total. I'm not sure what that is. I really like Shadowrun. Dude, sounds like I need to play Shadowrun. Possibly a Fable. Ooh, perhaps a Fable. Although they said that he was surprised by the scope of it. But maybe if we get Fable coming back. So I only ever played Fable 3. I never got to jump into Fable 1 or 2. Fable 3 is where I started. And I know Fable 3, for instance, my brother, who's a huge Fable fan, is very critical of Fable 3. But I myself enjoyed Fable 3. But apparently what I experienced with Fable 3 was only a taste of the greatness and glory that is Fable in the Fable-verse. Zulabus says, so AAA party partnerships makes it sound like the games aren't even being developed by a Microsoft-owned company. I noticed that too. I noticed that was the wording that was used here. Right here. On 4, Dompierre allegedly has word on 4 AAA party partnerships, none of which are related to the Hideo Kojima rumors. Yeah, so it sounds like, but Xbox Game Studios publishing, I don't know. This rumor has me guessing on nothing. I know nothing. This is one of the best rumors that there is because I know nothing. Like, there's no guessing on this. That's like coming out and saying, guys, I think something big is about to happen. That's what it seems like, right? California Geek says, yeah, it does sound like third party. I agree with that. Maybe we'll get an Xbox version of Smash Bros. We did talk about that on the show this week. Can you? Because there's all the teasing of Nintendo characters wearing Halo uniforms and the, Microsoft going to be partnering with Nintendo as a rumor on something. And most likely, I think it's not going to be Smash Brothers on Xbox. I think it's going to be users or like Halo characters, Xbox characters, maybe in Smash Brothers. And I would think Master Chief would be excellent. And I think they're going to do it for, marketing purposes for Halo Infinite. They seem all in on Halo Infinite, which is really exciting. Psychotic says, based on past history of podcasts, you've been pretty accurate, X1. This is true. This is true. Castleberry is here in the house. What is up, Castleberry? How you doing? Welcome. Good morning, my friend. Good morning to everybody. This is the morning show is back. We're going to be going over news stories, just talking about them, hanging out, having fun. Viva Pinata, Matt Dan. Ooh, Viva Pinata. E3 is coming up, everybody. We're going to find out a lot for E3. Very exciting. Guys, do you think, so this is like digital version E3. When E3 comes back, do you think they move the venue for E3 out of Los Angeles? So the reason, there is a lot of publishers in Los Angeles, though. So that's why I think if they were to keep it, they would keep it there. But there's been an E3. Didn't they do like on the early days? I think an E3 was done in Atlanta, I want to say. Dude, I'll tell you what would be a sweet place to do an E3. Keeps it close to LA. Las Vegas, Nevada. I think that's where E3 in person, when it comes back, should go. Everybody, thank you very much for being here. Welcome to this morning's stream. This is a stream that's going to happen Monday through Thursday, where we just hang out, talk, have fun, discuss and discourse the daily news stories, review them together, etc., etc. But Boy Will says, I hope it does stay here in LA. Psychotic says, no, they won't. It'll be all virtual and have devs stream from home. Oh, yeah, no, it's not... Well, no, I do think it's going to come back in person. I think there's a lot of money to be made in person. I have my PAX Australia tickets purchased for this year, says Cooper. Congratulations. I hope it moves to Austin, Texas. Dude, that would be cool. But I think Vegas is set up for it. You've already got like a whole entertainment industry there, and it's close to LA because there's a lot of developers in LA, a lot of studios in LA. The downside is like Microsoft owns like Microsoft has that Microsoft Theater there, so it was a natural kind of place to be for them to host their own thing. But I mean, they just sell it. Sell the T-Mobile Arena. Is it the T-Mobile Arena? What is that theater? The T-Mobile Theater? It used to be the T-Mobile Theater, I think, and now it's called the Microsoft Theater. Just sell it and buy one in Las Vegas. You just spent $7 billion on Bethesda. Everybody, thank you very much for being here. We got 26 viewers and 20 likes. If you haven't yet, please hit the like button. Subscribe to us. Hit the notification bell. Be informed whenever we go live. Green Label is here in the house. Good morning, all. Good morning, Green Label. So good to see you. All right, I wanted to finish off this morning's, or not finish it off, but the last story this morning is I want to cover this story that I think has been, I've seen this in multiple places here, this sentiment. And this is the sentiment, and this is from Tech Radar, and this is not to bash the PlayStation at all, but this is just simply to highlight that I think the value that is Xbox, the value that is Game Pass, is starting to get out there, and it's starting to get out there via these opinion pieces. I saw Paul Tassi, who is a big Destiny guy, write something similar, that he just can't escape the value that is Xbox, and he finds himself playing his Xbox Series X more than his PlayStation 5 at the moment, and that's never been the case before. And I've seen multiple articles, opinion pieces written to this extent. And this is the article over at Tech Radar by Adam Vijestica. I'm pretty sure that J is Vestica. I'm pretty sure that's silent. My bad. PS5 isn't good value compared to Xbox Series X, and I'm sick of it. He says greatness does await on PS5 for the payers, though. Here's what he has to say. Let's dive into it real quick, because I do think this is not to say that PlayStation 5 is bad. If that's what you're getting from this reading or this article, I think you're incorrect. But what it is saying is that Xbox has done such a good job being and proving that it's a value. Like, it's undeniable, the value that's there, and it's just pulling people over. And well done, Microsoft. Here we go. Despite being enamored, Adam Vestica says, with the PS5 at launch, my enthusiasm for the system has slowly begun to wane. The PlayStation 5 is an accomplished console with some fantastic features, but one ugly truth is starting to become abundantly clear. The PS5 can't compete with Microsoft's Xbox Series X when it comes to value, and it's why I found myself playing on the Xbox Series X far more than the PS5. Let me take a drink of water here. Value. So he's playing the Series X more than the PS5 because of values. Now, the question is, as PlayStation starts to drop some of their IPs that are single-player games, like let's say they came out with a God of War for the PS5. It's just a style of game that's just generational in how good of a game it is. Is the value proposition enough? And I would argue that it is at this point, because you got to remember, the thing about the Game Pass and Xbox Series X is a lot of the best games right now in Game Pass are not Microsoft exclusive games. We're getting a lot of really good Square Enix games, right? I mean, Outriders dropped their MLB The Show, which is a Sony PlayStation, it's a Sony Studios game, dropped on Game Pass. And so the value, when you're talking about value, you're not just talking about first-party exclusives dragging you over to your system or bringing people to the system. You're talking about these excellent, excellent third-party titles. Most people play most third-party titles, right? I think that's probably the majority of games that people play. They're not necessarily like a big Microsoft or Sony IP will come along and people will jump into it. But outside of those giant tent events, I think everybody's playing third-party games. And so the value is just, dude, they've done such a good job. So even before, he continues on, even before Microsoft's flagship console was released, I stated that the Xbox Series X was already a better value than the PS5. And honestly, that gap has widened considerably almost 5 months since the console's released, to the point where it's making Sony's tried and trusted strategy look horribly outdated. I would agree with that. Now, I have been accused in reviews on our, go read the reviews on our, on the XoneBros podcast over on iTunes. I have been accused multiple times there of being an Xbox fanboy because I keep saying stuff like, Xbox is the future. They're pushing forward. And I stand by that. I really think they're changing the gaming genre with this Game Pass, with the value that they're bringing, going this new model. And I think that's what he's saying. Look what he says. It's making Sony's tried and trusted strategy look horribly outdated. I agree. They're pushing the gaming genre forward in a way that we haven't seen. Half of the battle and success, too, in these industries is being first in, right? First mover advantage. And I think that they absolutely have that. It's worth reiterating. He continues on, but Microsoft really doesn't care if you buy an Xbox Series X. With Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, the company has created a revenue stream that's available across Xbox consoles, PC, Android phones, and soon, we just talked about it, iOS devices. It means there are practically no more barriers to entry anymore, and anyone who is interested in Xbox or playing games in general can do so. Even those who only own a PS5 or Nintendo Switch will probably have access to a PC or a smartphone. Unlike Microsoft, then, Sony has to sell you a PS5 if it wants to make money. It can't monetize users who don't own its hardware outside of PC players subscribing to PlayStation Now to stream PS4, PS3, or PS2 games via the cloud or picking up the odd PS4 port. And historically, platform holders don't tend to make any profit on hardware until many years into a console generation. It's traditionally software sales, add-ons, subscriptions, and even accessories that provide the biggest yields. Now, this is, again, that's exactly the thing. When you talk about scalability, it's why I'm so high on the Game Pass. You can scale Game Pass at a rate that you can't sell hardware. In hardware, you're limited to how quickly, how cheaply, and how efficiently you can produce that hardware. It's super, I mean, it's hard to pass up. Let's continue down here. He talks more a little about the hardware, and then he says, hard to pass up. Here we go. Much like how Netflix has changed the film and television industry, Xbox Game Pass has delivered the same type of seismic shift for video games. Unsurprisingly, it's the key reason why I turn on my Xbox Series X almost every night. There's always something to play that's either passed me by, just been added, or recently optimized for Microsoft's current gen consoles. And then he goes over the cost of how much Game Pass costs. He says that in itself might be enough for some people to subscribe, but Microsoft has managed to sweeten the deal even further in recent months by securing an increasing number of noteworthy third-party titles. Outriders and the previously PlayStation exclusive baseball sim MLB The Show 21 are both available on Xbox Game Pass Day 1, and Octopath Traveler, one of the best Nintendo Switch games, dropped on the service at launch. If you want to play Outriders or MLB The Show 21 on PS5, you're looking at $60 and $70 respectively. You just have to pay that monthly fee over on Game Pass. Okay, let's go down to his summary here. It's time. Here's his summary. It's time for Sony to do more to satisfy users who have made the decision to pick up a PS5 and not just try to tempt new users in or away from the competition with one or two high-profile games. Even Nintendo, a gaming company that is notoriously tight-fisted when it comes to discounts and sales, has a reward system in place for users who buy games digitally. But Sony, at least in Europe, has nothing of the sort. This guy's from Europe, obviously. As it stands, the PS5 really feels like it's only aimed at the payers, not the players Sony supposedly cares so much about. And let's go back up to the title here. That is a sentiment that I'm seeing more and more. This is not the first article. The only reason I'm reading this article is because this is like one of 5 that I've seen pop up over the last couple weeks with a similar title. PS5 just isn't as good of a value as the Xbox. And I think the value proposition play that Xbox and Xbox Game Pass is bringing to the table is really starting to come through. And it's really starting to shine through. Usually the press, super negative for PlayStation. Look at these pop-ups, by the way. Let's close that. PS, don't put video pop-ups on your website. It's super annoying. How about when they auto turn on the audio, destroys it. I'd run away from that website so fast. Navy is here. So XoneBros is on YouTube now. XoneBros, yeah, we have been on YouTube. We've made the jump over to YouTube. When Mixer closed down. Instead of going to Twitch, we went to YouTube, and I think it's the correct decision. It enables us to just do so much more, and really enjoy it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's stream. In summary, I really think that I wanted to end with this story because I think the value proposition is legitimately coming through for the Xbox, and I think it's absolutely undeniable. And we're seeing more and more of these types of stories. Like, guys, I'm playing my Xbox more, and these are PlayStation guys. He's self-admittedly right here, Adam Vestica, a PlayStation guy himself, but he turns on his Xbox more because of the value proposition that is Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. Navy says, that's awesome. I'm glad it worked out for you all. Navy, thank you very much, my friend. Guys, thank you very much for being here. That actually is going to do us for today. This is a work in progress, so bear with me. But this is how it's going to do. I think we're going to sit down. We're going to talk news. We're going to talk to each other, have fun every single morning, Monday through Thursday. We're going to be here starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific time. So tell your friends, come join it. Share this video with your friends. If you do miss it, it will go up immediately after we're done here. Thank you very much, guys, for being here. Thank you for hanging out. I enjoy you guys. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the show and for being here. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.